Hi, a couple of weeks ago I told you that I was going on a new anti-acne skincare routine and lifestyle program. This is the Emme Diane Clear Skin program, and I have Jen Matthews of My Beauty Bunny to thank for this because she introduced me to Emme and got me on this regimen. And I must say that I've pestered the life out of Emme probably with my constant questions, and Emme has been incredibly patient answering them and giving me tips and suggestions and practical changes to make that have made a huge difference to my skin's overall health as well as to the acne. So for those who haven't seen my preview, it's here as well as in the description box below. Emme is an Arizona-based esthetician. She's called the Acne Whisperer, Acne Coach. Her success rate is 95% clearance of acne, of course. So I was very excited to try out the Clear Skin program. It's not just a bunch of skincare products that you try on and, get on with it. It's not, anything that you take orally. It is a series of changes in your diet, in your lifestyle, in whatever you apply to your face, even in your makeup and hair care. So it's a sort of full-pronged, multi-pronged approach, and that is what has worked for me. Now, before I talk about the regimen or the changes that I made, I'd like to do a before and after. This is before. This is, I think, April 19th or so. This was because of a keratin treatment. All the keratin got on my face, and this was the situation on April, I think, 19th it was. Deep cysts, as you can see, huge cysts. Very painful bumps all over the place. And this was right after coming off steroids and cyclosporins for acute urticaria allergies. I was hospitalized, very bad attack. Lots of steroids from October for many, many months. And then it was stopped and I was put on cyclosporins, which were tapered off only by the end of May, early June. So cyclosporins can cause acne as well. So and obviously you know that steroids can cause acne as well. So lots of acne from October onwards. And they left scars, they've left hyperpigmentation as well. Now, next I have an update just before starting the skincare routine from Emme. This was after introducing a few lifestyle changes, including eradicating iodized salt from my diet, eradicating processed food, sleeping better, changing my makeup routine and so on. So you can already see that there is a bit of difference. And icing, Emme recommends use of ice. So after doing all that, this is before even starting her skincare products. Now, the next update that I have for you is on July 20th. This was about a month after using Emme's skincare products. And of course, maintaining the lifestyle and dietary changes that she'd recommended. So this is the situation at the moment without makeup, without face makeup. The date is July the 20th, and there is one cyst here, one on its way out here, some hyperpigmentation, as you can see. But overall, I think the result is much better. Finally, here's one taken earlier today before applying makeup, and as you can see, it is right after my atrocious, drastic haircut thanks to an insane stylist, but let's not rant here about all that. So this is right before I put on this makeup. Now, I'm sure you will agree with me that the changes have been drastic, have been incredibly, I don't know, I'm gobsmacked. I must say that I went into this with a bit of trepidation, a bit of apprehension, a bit of doubt, incredulity, whatever you want to call it. Use all the synonyms you can. Because, you tried pretty much everything. I've used acid, I've used benzoyl peroxide, I've used salicylic acid, I've used Dapsone, I've used clindamycin, I've used erythromycin, I've used azithromycin, I've used clarithromycin. I'm talking about topicals. Orally, I've done Minos, Doxy, azithro, limicilline, Dapsone pills. The Dapsone pills destroy your red blood cells, so my hemoglobin shot right down to 8.6 from a decent 13, and I could barely get out of bed. So after all this, I'm sure you agree from the befores and afters that I've shown you that the changes have been even more drastic than the new haircut. So now let's talk about the program itself. The first thing Emme does is ask you a series of questions, very detailed questions about your medical history, about your acne history, about your diet, about your lifestyle and so on. And based on those answers, and she also asks you to send photographs, latest pictures, close-ups without makeup in good lighting of your acne. And the April 19th picture that I showed you before is the one that I had sent Emme. So based on all of that, Emme sort of customizes a routine for you, skincare, and makes those recommendations for your, dietary and lifestyle changes. Now, the consultation is entirely free. I will link the website in the description box below. So once your initial consultation is done, Emme sends you, along with the products or on PDF, the Acne Bible. It's exactly what it says. The Acne Bible. I call this, I don't know, a lifesaver, this book. I'll never be without it. The PDF is on my phone all the time. I take it shopping with me. I keep a copy in my car. This one's in the bag wherever I go. So one of the things Emme says is that, non-comedogenic is a very misleading term. And a lot of products will have pore clogging ingredients in them. They're everywhere. This is something that you need to be very, very sort of careful about while treating your acne. So even if there's an anti-acne face wash, even if there's something prescribed by a dermatologist, this could very well contain pore clogging ingredients. So because there are anti-acne ingredients, the product could work for a while and you'll think, oh great, it's working, and then it'll stop because there are pore clogging ingredients in there as well. So to this effect, and also because what clogs your pores may not clog mine, and what clogs my pores may not clog yours. To this effect, Emme has an amazing list in the Acne Bible of pore clogging ingredients, and this is an absolute godsend, a lifesaver. I've taken pictures of this and put this on my phone, in my Dropbox, in my Google Drive. I've emailed it to myself because each time I go shopping, even if it's online shopping, I'm sort of poring over this and looking at the ingredients list of products that I buy and seeing if they contain something that's in this list. So this list, absolute godsend. It's very, very long, very detailed, and I've also added a few that have clogged my pores in the past. Mineral oil, petroleum jelly, paraffin, essential oils, some essential oils. They tend to clog my pores. They may not clog another person's, of course. That's very subjective. But in my case, they do. So that's why I've added them. So I think that is what Emme meant when she said you need to become your own skin's expert and sort of judge for yourself. So that's one thing. The other thing is something that I've already spoken about. It is acne-safe makeup. Given that makeup sits on your face, your entire face, and covers it for about, 8 hours a day, or 9 or even more, you need to see that your makeup is acne safe. So to this end, she gave me a list of products that I could use that are entirely acne safe. Now, I must tell you that there are no restrictions on eyeshadow or lipstick score, and that is why I've been sort of going all out with my eye looks and lip makeup recently. And I've already done a post here and in the description box below on the acne safe makeup as prescribed by Emme. I've done a sort of get ready with me. So those are the products that I'm using. This is why I won't be doing too many, foundation get ready with me's or reviews in the near future. Ever since I stopped using my regular foundations and stuck to these two, mostly the Oxygenetics foundation as well as the Armani one, Luminous Skin, that is, my acne has taken a huge nosedive. So I'm all for it. And I think it's absolutely brilliant. Nobody ever tells you about acne safe makeup. Now let's get on with the routine. I have told you what my routine will be. Description box, as I said, also here. So I'm going to talk about the products now. So the first one is the cleanser. This is the gentle cleanser for sensitive skin. There's 180 ml of product and this costs $30. Now, all the Emme products are not tested on animals and are sulfate free. So this is actually between a cream and a gel in texture. It's neither, very creamy, and nor is it, as light as a gel. So it's somewhere between a cream and a gel. Now, in 6 weeks, I've managed to use up so much, about half. I don't know if you can see how much is left over. So I am hoping that this will last another 6 weeks for me. Now, this is very silky in finish, and Emme recommends using this as a double cleanser or using some kind of wipes to wipe off your makeup and then double cleanse with this straight away. And that is what I have been doing. I use the simple micellar wipes and then follow up by double cleansing with this. And I also like leaving it on for a while, you know, so it dissolves everything. And the reason I am using the micellar water is that because this doesn't really help with waterproof mascara, but that's in the eye area, so you can use what you like there. It's not like you're going to get acne on your eyelids. Touch wood, you never know. It is also my morning cleanser, obviously, the first cleanse. It is incredibly gentle. So I like leaving on the first cleanse for a bit and then massage and remove it. And it's very, very gentle. It doesn't irritate the eyes. It's got in my eyes. I'm klutzy. It's got in my mouth. It's got in everywhere. No stinging, no problems at all. So that's a cleanser. Absolutely brilliant. Some of us may like, you know, foaming cleansers or gel cleansers. And those with dry skin may like cream cleansers. This is exactly between those two and has all the sort of advantages of both, which is why I love this cleanser. It is my second favorite product from Emme. Why isn't it number one? Because something else sort of blew me away completely, and I'm coming to that in a little bit. Right, the second product is the Calm Down Toner. Again, 6 weeks I've managed to use up so much. That's not so bad, is it? And the reason I've sort of gone through this is, although this is a spray, is that you need 12 sprays of this. Now, Emme recommends 12 sprays of this on a cotton round or directly on the face. I'm lazy. I can't be asked to reach for cotton rounds, so it's directly on the face, which is something that I really like. And you can also, you know, spritz this on through the day as an all-over mist. And that's what I've been doing. This is my go-to mist. I've decanted a bit into a small, you know, spray bottle, and I use that for, you know, sort of refreshing through the day. Now, this contains oxygen. And if you have been following my empties posts regularly, you may remember that sometime last year I talked about, or was it earlier this year? Anyway, in one of my empties posts, I've talked about the Ling Skincare Oxygen Plasma Potion. And I've said it's an amazing moisturizer for those with acne. And that, obviously, being the oxygen plasma potion, the key ingredient was oxygen. So this toner containing oxygen, I knew this would help with my acne, and it has. So this is also sulfate and paraben free, and it costs, hang on, give me a minute, $32. So it's very cooling and lightweight. Another good product. So as I said, key ingredients, oxygen, electrolytes, and aloe vera. So next up we have my third favorite from the range, the Clarifying Serum. This is $40 and is 1 ounce, 30 mils. Now, key ingredients, you're going to love this. Mandelic acid, lactic acid, 10% niacinamide. And this is really, really good for fading hyperpigmentation as well. It's a very, very light gel lotion, clear lotion. And in addition to those actives that I just mentioned, it also contains sodium hyaluronate, which is hyaluronic acid. And hyaluronic acid, for those who came in late, is a molecule that can hold up to 1,000 times its own weight in water. So despite all those actives, it's very, you know, hydrating and, you know, not irritating on the skin because of the hyaluronic. So this is my third favorite product from Emme. You know, I am coming to my absolute favorite in a minute. And this is suitable for sensitive and rosacea skin as well. And I don't find these acids irritating at all. But confession, my skin is used to very, very strong acids. I've sort of acided, that's not a verb, but it suits. I've sort of acided the skin, the stuffing out of my skin back when I was incredibly acneic. So this didn't irritate me in the least, no burn, no problems at all. And I like mandelic acid. Mandelic acid is kind of different from glycolic acid in that the molecule is larger, so it takes more time to sort of get into your skin, and it doesn't have that burn that glycolic does. So if you are someone whom glycolic does not suit, mandelic is a better option. Lactic acid is something I love. And another good ingredient that it contains is 10% niacinamide. I like this far, far, far more than I liked The Ordinary's Mandelic Acid, The Ordinary's 10% Lactic Acid, or The Ordinary's 10% Niacinamide, which did well with my smaller pimples at first, and then it broke me out badly. So this one hasn't broken me out in 6 weeks. Next, we have the Skin Quencher Gel Hydrator, that is 50 mils. This is a clear gel. It's not as runny or thin as the Clarifying Serum. It's thicker, and it's a sort of pale icy blue, the iciest of blues in a gel. So it's translucent. So it contains aloe vera, glycerin, hyaluronic acid, panthenol, and allantoin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the last one correctly. And this is water-based, not oil-based, so there's no danger of it breaking you out. All these products that I'm showing you are entirely acne safe. Now, I like this as a sort of very lightweight, very hydrating step, and it's absorbed very quickly and doesn't, leave any residue on my skin at least. And it sort of goes on watery, which is something that I like about it. So I might stick to this even when I'm no longer acneic as my sort of go-to moisturizer, because you don't want to go back to some other moisturizer that could break you out. So I'd rather stick to something that won't break me out, even if I'm no longer acneic. Now we come to another topical, that is the Acne Eraser 5%. Although the regimen is entirely only 8 products, both AM and PM, Emme sent me 2 versions of the Acne Eraser, that is 5% and 10%. So she said, if the 5% doesn't work out for you, go in for the 10%. Now the first 2 weeks, the Acne Eraser was only at night on alternate nights. But after week 3, it had to be every night. And unfortunately, having this without another moisturizer on top, with just the Acne Eraser, 5% strength, sort of cost a lot of peeling. And I was hoping it would go away, and it didn't. So I wrote to Emme saying, this is the situation, there's a lot of peeling. And I sent her photographs as well. And the following morning, makeup was an absolute disaster. Those bits of skin having half peeled off with foundation attached to it. Ugh, terribly repulsive. And sorry about the graphic description. So I sent photographs, and Emme said, what you can do is leave on your Acne Eraser at first for about an hour or so, and then rinse it off, and then proceed with the other products. So that is what I've been doing now, and I must say that the peeling has stopped. So Emme says eventually she would like to see me get back to the Acne Eraser, leaving it on all night rather than rinsing it off. So the Acne Eraser is now a sort of rinse-off treatment for me rather than a topical. And the Acne Eraser costs, $17. The next is the last step occlusive, the moisturizer. That is the Hydra-Luxe Cream, and this costs $40. And it contains ceramides, obviously, hydration, ceramides, last step, occlusive, and safflower oil, which is acne safe. And it's not very thick at all or occlusive. It's very, on the watery side. It reminds me of a lot of Korean moisturizers, the texture, I'll just show you. See, now that is more of a gel moisturizer than a cream. See, a cream wouldn't spread out like that, or leave the sort of watery finish on the skin rather than a greasy one. So that is why I was very scared of this product at first, because Hydra-Luxe Cream, bad news. I'm all about lotions, not creams, not when I'm this acne. But this one being this lightweight, look, it's already gone completely. So I did pat it in, yes, but Korean moisturizers, you've got to pat in anyway. So this is, very, very reminiscent of K-Beauty. And if you are used to or a fan of Korean moisturizers, the formula is very similar, and this is entirely acne safe, so win. So the Hydra-Luxe Cream or the Skin Quench Hydrator, the Skin Quench Hydrator goes on first, and I like, using 2 products. It's like using an emulsion and a sort of slightly thicker or heavier moisturizer after that. So I would go in for both. Now we come to my absolute favorite product, the one that I'm not going to live without for the rest of my days. That is the Tinted Mineral Sunscreen. Those of you who have seen in my Insta stories the photograph of me without any makeup whatsoever right after this haircut, that is when I've been wearing this alone. And even my dermatologist, when I go to see, I mean, obviously you don't go to see your dermatologist wearing makeup. When I went to see my dermatologist last, I was wearing just this. And he said, your face is no longer oily. I have never in all my life met a sunscreen, an entirely physical sunscreen, 100% physical, a water and sweat resistant sunscreen that, left a very oily face, 100% matte for hours and hours on end. I have never met one. I have admitted to skipping sunscreen even because of the whitish cast, because of the greasy finish, because of the oiliness or the, icky, greasy feel. And I like my face looking matte because it's going to become dewy in about 10 minutes anyway. So I don't really like dewy or hydrating finishes. And even if something claims to be a mattifier, it does leave me greasy in about 10 minutes time. This one, hours and hours, I'm still matte. And about the tint, it is quite suitable for my skin tone, surprisingly. That's the tint. And that's what it looks like. That is definitely a good match for my skin tone. And I must admit that I've actually skipped primer on some days and just opted for this. I've even skipped foundation on some days, not, on a regular basis, corner store and that sort of thing, running errands. For that, I've skipped my foundation and gone in for this because there is some coverage, very mild, kind of like a BB cream, but it's still there nonetheless. So this is a huge cult product. It is Emme's best-selling product, and it is one that is my holy grail sunscreen from now on. I wouldn't recommend it for the very dry-skinned people. I think she has an illuminating sunscreen as well. If you don't like a very matte finish, if you want a bit of illumination, if you want some dewiness to your skin, there is an illuminating sunscreen that she has. But for us incredibly oily skinned people, for whom even matte finish means dewy, the Tinted Mineral Sunscreen is the right answer. It is even nicer than that airy finish thingy from Etude House. Etude House Airy Light Sun Play or something it was called. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name. It was about 1.5 years ago that I used it. It wasn't matte either. This one entirely matte. Absolutely love this. So this has SPF 40 broad spectrum, is water resistant for 80 minutes, after which you will need to reapply. The reapplication isn't so hard even above foundation because it is so matte and so lightweight. And because it is tinted and not, a regular gel or lotion or even a cream. So it's sort of, you can pat it on. It's like, reapplying Professional. And the texture is very similar to Benefits Professional. Very, very similar indeed to Benefits Professional. I can't believe it. This is an absolute dupe for Benefits Professional, and it's actually a sunscreen. And it's acne safe. What's not to love? Cult product, will never be without it. And it costs $4 to $6 and is worth every penny. And this is 50 mils. Now, one thing I'm not a huge fan of is that you can't see how much is left behind with the sunscreen. That is the only problem. All the others, you can see how much is left behind. There's a bit of a gap here, and the bottle itself being translucent or even transparent, you can see how much is left behind. In the case of the sunscreen, you can't at all. That is my only gripe about it. Another product where you can't see how much is left behind, last but not the least, is the Sulfur Refining Mask. This is a weekly use product. I use it every Sunday. $1 does the whole face, and this costs $35. So this is antibacterial, obviously. It also targets blackheads and whiteheads, and it also provides exfoliation to the face. Now, it contains bentonite and kaolin clay. You had me at bentonite clay, because bentonite clay mask, I think it was called Aztec bentonite clay mask, was my absolute favorite mask before this. And that was finicky because you had to mix it and then, wait for your skin to pulse and everything. This one doesn't do any of that. It removes dead cells and draws out impurities as well as excess oils, which is what, the kaolin and bentonite clays do. So lovely little mask in there, nice weekly use product. If you are a mask addict and you want a mask in your routine, you can go in for this one. And this isn't, absolutely compulsory. You can just get on with the rest of the routine. But if you are a masker, like I am, this is the ideal choice. Will not break you out, will not cause any acne, and is actually containing 3% sulfur. So those are the 8 products from Emme Diane that I am now using, and those are my thoughts on each of those. And when I first started using them, I expected that there would be at least 2 that I didn't really love, you know, or 2 or 3, or even half that I didn't really love. Completely wrong there. I love every one of them. You know, the Acne Eraser, because it is causing heavy peeling, particularly on my forehead, and is messing with my makeup application, is not something that I'm utterly in love with, but that is probably a passing phase. And now that I rinse it off, I don't have to worry about it that much. So it's not so bad. All of the others are must-haves in my routine. I love the cleanser, the toner containing oxygen, really nice. And so is the Clarifying Serum with mandelic and lactic acids and niacinamide. And the skin quencher and the Hydrolux cream are both incredibly lightweight, water-based moisturizers that are perfect for acne-prone skin. And I need not tell you any more about the tinted mineral sunscreen. I've raved about it. I will continue to rave about it. So that's my skincare routine now. You've seen the befores and the afters. This is an amazing thing to happen to me. Huge, huge, huge thanks to Jen Matthews of My Beauty Bunny. I don't know how I can possibly thank her enough for introducing me to Emme. And I don't know how I can thank Emme herself enough either. She's been incredibly patient and answering so many questions. I know the first consultation is always free, but you know, you really don't expect them to keep on answering all your little questions and doubts, you know, so patiently the way Emme has. And it's been very, very useful, and she's been an absolute godsend, knows exactly what she's doing, and I am completely amazed by the results. I wasn't expecting this much. So thank you so much, Emme, for working with me, for sending me these products, for being so patient and answering all my questions. Above all, for clearing my acne. So I feel that Emme's Clear Skin program has sort of taken me from the actively breaking out category to the sort of dormant acne sort of niche. Let's make such a niche, dormant. And hopefully, if my skin lies dormant enough, if my acne is dormant enough, long enough, you know, like volcanoes become extinct after being dormant for a long time, hopefully my acne will also become extinct. Touch wood, that is my hope here. And that is my goal as well. So until then, until it becomes extinct, I will continue to practice these dietary and lifestyle changes and keep on using these products. I'm never going to be without the Tinted Mineral Sunscreen. Never, never, never. Because it is the only sunscreen I trust beneath makeup as well as without any makeup. Beautiful product. And I'll tell you something else about the sunscreen. You know those days when you're indoors, you're supposed to use sunscreen even indoors. And I didn't, you know. I wasn't using sunscreen indoors because it was icky, ocky, ooky. I didn't like the feel. I didn't like the look. I was like a grease ball after a bit. This one keeps me matte and fresh indoors all day. And I love that about it. Controls oil like no other product that I've ever seen. And I feel that the last couple of cysts that I've had, particularly one here, which Auntie Flo brought with her the last time she turned up, it hasn't left much hyperpigmentation as much as, say, this one did, or, you know, this one even, because of the sunscreen usage. So I think that's the importance of sunscreen for acneic people. And this sunscreen is perfect for anyone who's oily-skinned, acneic, and greasy. So if you are one of those people for whom nothing has worked so far, and you're, you know, at the end of your tether when it comes to your persistent cystic acne, and when it's caused by other issues such as the mini pill or hormones, then I highly recommend consulting with Emme Diane, whom I've linked in the description box below, and speaking to her and see what she says. And if you can introduce those dietary and lifestyle changes that she said and use her acne safe products in your skincare routine and incorporate the acne safe makeup that she prescribes for you, I think you're going to see a huge difference in your acne as well. So that's all from me for today. Thank you for watching this video. Please do give me a thumbs up and please do hit the subscribe button, and I'll speak to you soon.